If I were to make each of these whole numbers, our save button now becomes clickable. So if we change and add a decimal, the save button is no longer clickable. Our disabled button uses CountLang also. So if that equals true, then it disables the button. Hey everyone, this is my SharePoint questions. Today I wanted to show you the power of using Coalesce for data validation. I don't see many people using Coalesce, but let's go over what it is. So Coalesce is a function that evaluates an argument and returns the value that isn't blank or an empty string. So if you have multiple values, so Coalesce value 1, value 2, and you can keep going, value 3, value 4. The first value that is not blank is going to return for your Coalesce statement. So let's say you had 3 blanks and then the last option was A, a text field. The Coalesce is going to return A. So one thing about Coalesce is all of the values must either be either a number or a string. You can't mix the type of values. So when you're comparing, it needs to be all numbers or they need to be all strings. So now I'm going to show you how I use that for data validation. So here's my Power App I've been working on for a few weeks now. If you are not caught up, I have some previous videos. I think this is my 6th one. So what I want to do is check for this number if it is a decimal or not. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete my selections here. Now the first thing we want to do is go to our text field, and if you notice in format you have 2 options. You can either make it a text or a number. Now we want to make each one of these text boxes a number, so when I type in here and I type text, it won't allow it. It will allow numbers. But one thing I want to do is check for a decimal value. Now you could, in your save button, do a round even in your save button before you save on select. But for demonstration purposes, I want to do is I want to change the border color to red, and then I want to either disable or allow the save button to work if there's a decimal. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. So on change of our text box here, what we're going to do in our text box, we're going to search for, and we're going to do so we're going to search for a period in our text number of views. If a period does exist, then what we're going to do is we're going to update a context variable. And this variable is going to be called variable number of views des. And we're going to be searching in our text, and we're going to update this variable to a text. We're not going to do a Boolean because we want to use Coalesce. And so if we have some Boolean, we have some text, we have some numbers, it's not going to work. So we're going to change it to either true. If there is no period in there, we're going to update context number of views decimal. We're going to update it to blank because that's how we're going to use Coalesce. And we just need one more. So parentheses. So now, if there is a period in our number of views.text, it's going to update this variable, which is a context variable, so it's only good for this screen. It's going to update it to true, else it's going to be blank. So let's put a label there for it. So we'll put a label here, and it's our variable number of views decimal. And when we change here, you can see with a whole number, it's fine. We add a decimal, it changes to true. It doesn't matter where the decimal place is. If we have a very long decimal, it's still going to be true. If we remove the decimal, it returns blank. So I'm going to do that on all 3 of my fields here, and I'll probably fast forward through this for you. All right, so I'm going to create a label for each one of these. So this is my variable number of shares. And this is my variable average watch. So if I go into any of these and I add a decimal, you can see that it will become true for each one of those. So the labels are just for us to see the demonstration purposes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the border color. Now this is pretty simple. So the border color is if this variable number of views is equal to true, we're going to change it to RGBA red. And so the first number is actually red. So if you set it to 255, that's maximum. So if it's true, then we're going to set it to red, else it's going to be the same color. So now you can see that if there is a decimal, it is red, else it is the normal color. So I'm going to do that for each one of the boxes below also. All right, so I have the 3 borders now set up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Coalesce and use it as my save button. So on my save button of the display mode, what I'm going to say is if Coalesce of our 3 variables. So we have 3 variables right now: average watch, number of shares, and number of views. If that's equal to true, then we're going to say disabled. Else we're going to say edit. So as you can see, we have 3 of our columns here. Save button is now disabled. If I were to make each of these whole numbers, our save button now becomes clickable. So if we change and add a decimal, the save button is no longer clickable. So I just wanted to show you one way of using the Coalesce. Now I'm going to show you like other ways to data validate. Let's say we have a combo box and want them to select more than 4 options. So let's do the same thing here. So OnChange, what we're going to say is if we're going to do a count. So we're going to count our combo box, CountLang.selected items. If that's greater than 3, we're going to do another update variable, UpdateContext variable. We're going to call this one variable CountLang. And we're going to set it to true. Else, we're going to update context variable, the same one, variable CountLang, to blank. So now we have our variable, and we can change the border color for it just like before. So border color, if variable CountLang is equal to true, then we're going to do the red. Else we're going to leave it the same color. So it's only going to work on change. So right now it's not going to work. So as soon as we hit that red, it then highlights it red, right? And you know, we could make a label here also for it. We could say, you know, if variable CountLang is equal to true, then you know, please only choose a max of 3 options. Else we can make it blank. We could do something like that. Put it over top of it. Make it red, you know. Just for data validation, what people are used to. So now if we choose 3, it's fine. As soon as we choose a 4th, it says please only choose a max of 3 options. So what we're going to do now is add that to our Coalesce. So our Coalesce, you know, we just need to add that variable in here, variable CountLang. If that one is equal, I deleted one, if variable there we go. So now And so we could go down and do this for all kinds of different options. We could check for number of views if it's negative. We could check if it's greater than I don't know. If it's less than 100, maybe we don't want to report on it. Number of views, we could disable the save button. There's all kinds of different data validations you could do here, but using that coalesce statement is huge. It saves you time. You don't have to create these huge long if-then statements. I rarely see anyone use coalesce, and I think this is a great reason to use it. If you use coalesce and you set a variable if it's true or it's blank, you can then use disabled or added. So thank you guys for watching. I think this was a very powerful video. If you like what you're watching, please like and subscribe. I'm at 332 subscribers right now. I'm trying to reach 1,000. I don't know if I can do that by the end of the year. But thank you guys. If you like the content, if I'm helping you with PowerApps, please like and subscribe. Thanks. See you next time.